What are real-world uses for quadratic equations? Imagine you're throwing a ball in the air or designing a roller coaster. Have you ever wondered how engineers and scientists figure out the best path or height? Well, they often use something called quadratic equations. These are math formulas that involve a variable squared, like x times. They help solve many everyday problems. One common use is in projectile motion. When you throw a ball or shoot an arrow, its path curves into a shape called a parabola. Quadratic equations help predict how high the object will go, how far it will travel, and exactly when it will land. For example, if you want to know how high a basketball will go when shot at a certain angle, you can set up a quadratic equation to find the maximum height. This is useful in sports, engineering, and safety planning. Another way quadratic equations are used is in calculating areas. Suppose you want to find the missing side of a rectangle when you know its area and one side length. You can set up a quadratic equation to solve for the unknown side. This is helpful in construction, gardening, or even when you're measuring for new furniture. Businesses also relying on quadratic equations. If a company wants to find the best price to sell a product for maximum profit, they can use a quadratic formula. Profit often depends on how many items are sold and the costs involved. Solving the quadratic equation shows the ideal number of units to produce or the best price to set. Design and engineering use quadratic equations too. Architects and engineers design curved structures like bridges or satellite dishes. These shapes follow parabolic curves, which focus light or distribute forces evenly. Using quadratic equations, they can calculate the exact shape needed for strength and efficiency. Speed and distance problems are common in everyday life. If you want to know how long it takes a car to reach a certain speed or how far it will go with acceleration, quadratic equations come into play. For example, if a car accelerates from 0 to 60 miles per hour, you can use a quadratic formula to find the time it takes. For those studying for the GED test, understanding how to set up and solve quadratic equations is very important. Many math questions involve real-world scenarios like motion, area, or optimization. Being able to translate a problem into a quadratic equation and solve it helps you understand and answer these questions more easily. In short, quadratic equations are not just abstract math. They are tools that help us solve real problems involving motion, measurements, business decisions, and design. Learning how to work with them can make everyday tasks easier and prepare you for the GED exam.